Hello and welcome back to Champions and Beyond. So while I'm still recovering from surgery, I am unable to do my usual gameplay videos. I thought I would do something a little bit different. Now in today's video we're going to do a top 10, and this isn't going to be a top 10 based on power rankings, based on the top 10 heroes that will win you the most games in Marvel Champions. What I wanted to do is a top 10 based on the top 10 heroes that are most fun to play. Now, this is going to be from my own perspective. These are the heroes that I enjoy most with my playstyle. And generally, I play solo or 2-player. I will play 3 or 4-player when I get the opportunity, although that isn't as often as I'd like. So please bear those into mind when I go through the list. Now, I'm also using a tool that I've never used before, and that is Pub Meeple. So the first part of this video will show the footage from me organising the characters using Pub Meeple. It's about a 5-minute segment, and Pub Meeple, for anyone that doesn't know, you can type in a load of options, as many as you want, and when you go into its ranking engine, it will give you 2 options on the screen. You can then pick one of those 2 options which you prefer based on whatever ranking it is you're doing. It will continue to spit out these 2 options until it's collected enough data and it feels that it can rank all of the options that you've given it. Now, for this, I picked out 11 heroes, and this is going to be a top 10 list, so the 11th hero plus an unreleased hero are going to go into an honourable mentions section at the very end. So here's the Pub Meeple footage, and then we will talk about our top 10 heroes that are most fun to play in Marvel Champions. Okay, so here we go. First choice, She-Hulk or Storm. I don't think I've played enough Storm yet, so I think She-Hulk still. Nova or Miles. It's probably going to be Nova. Rocket or Drax early on. So this is a very close one, because both like to just go face, but it's going to have to be Drax. That was a tough one. Domino or Venom? I think Domino. Already, Domino's a bit more fun than Venom. Quicksilver or She-Hulk? It's going to be Quicksilver. Wolverine or Nova? It's probably still Nova. Wolverine or Miles? It's going to be Wolverine on that one. Spider-Ham or Drax? It's going to be Drax. Spider-Ham or Rocket. I think it's going to be Rocket. Quicksilver or Domino is another tough one. Just because I've had more experience with him, I think Quicksilver for now. Domino or She-Hulk? I think Domino at the minute. I'm really digging Domino. Venom or She-Hulk? Venom, I think. Nova or Drax? It's going to be Drax. Nova or Rocket? Oh, this is another quite close one. I still think it's just fun to kill minions with Rocket. Nova or Spider-Ham? I actually think Spider-Ham's a little bit more fun. Quicksilver or Drax? Quicksilver, I think I've been having more fun with recently. Domino or Drax? I think Domino. Drax or Venom is going to be Drax. Venom or Rocket? It's going to be Rocket. Possibly, maybe not. Maybe that shouldn't have been. Spider-Ham or Venom? It's going to be Spider-Ham. Nova or Venom? Venom. Nova or She-Hulk? I enjoy Nova, but She-Hulk still gives me, pleasure. When I play her, she's still fun. Storm or Nova? It's going to be Nova. Storm or Wolverine will be Storm. Okay, so after the Pub Meeple rankings, number 10 is Wolverine. Now, I thought Wolverine might be a little bit higher, but I also realise probably the reason why he's going to stay at number 10 for now. Wolverine, for me, is my go-to Rush hero. I've enjoyed doing Rush since the game came out, as best you can. Most recently, before Wolverine, I did a Captain America Rush style deck, which was a lot of fun. But I think Wolverine at the minute is probably one of the most consistent for the Rush strategy. That may change with Deadpool coming out, but for now I really enjoy him in Rush. Now, having said that, that's probably why he's also down in 10th, because although I enjoy playing Rush, I only enjoy it every now and then. So, because I haven't really explored him with other aspects, with other builds, and there are some builds out there that I like the sound of, that I have some ideas around, possibly doing a leadership build with mainly Voltroning Colossus and getting his attack as high as possible, which would then allow you to increase the damage with Fastball Special. with the new player side schemes, some of these niche decks are very achievable with him now, with his track by scent threat removal card, being able to clear basically any side scheme and help you set up getting your strategy going is a very viable option, and I think that's going to have to be something I explore more with Wolverine for him to maybe increase on this rankings. At number 9, we have the hero that came out with Wolverine, and that is Storm. Now, Storm, I have probably played a little bit more than I have with Wolverine. Although, again, I've only really played her in leadership. I haven't really diversified with Storm. She is probably, her and Wolverine definitely are down here, because I just haven't had the level of plays of some of the other heroes that I really enjoy. But again, she's another one that I want to explore a little bit more with other aspects, unlocking different allies and being able to use that fun puzzle of the weather deck is appealing, and the weather deck and that fun kind of mini puzzle within the game is probably what puts her just above Wolverine at this moment in time. Now, when she came out, I did worry that she would be like Doctor Strange with his side deck, and you won't see Doctor Strange on this list because I personally don't find him fun. He gets very samey, and because of that, it's not an engaging experience playing Doctor Strange. So I did worry about Storm when she first came out, but I actually think that they did a really good job with her weather deck, trying to make sure that you're in the right form to do your turn and get it back to the right weather form to deny the villain or to hamper the villain on their turn. Is definitely a fun push-pull mechanic. And yeah, I think with some more diverse plays with some different decks, I think potentially Storm could rise up the ranks as well. So number 8 in my rankings is another one that I would expect to be a bit higher. It's a hero that I've always had fun with, but I think number 8 and number 7 really show that not only the hero and the mechanic can affect your enjoyment of a specific hero and how much fun you're having, but the way that you decide to play them. So number 8 for me is Nova, and I think the reason why, as I say, it depends on how you play them. I have mainly played Nova in 2-player games, and I have pretty much always played Justice. So I've always been the support character, been stabilising the board, keeping on top of everything, while player 2 comes in and shows off what their deck can do. Now, he is a lot of fun. I think if I play him a bit more in solo, or I play a bit more aggression with him, he may move up the list, because it is always a bit more fun to do the big amounts of damage, and I think that's what really holds him back, that I haven't explored that side of him. So on to number 7. Number 7 on my list is actually the only core set hero that is on this list, and that is She-Hulk. Now, despite the fact that She-Hulk has one of the weakest hero kits out there, I still think she is a lot of fun because I have played her in a bunch of different aspects, and getting that deck building side right, it is part of the fun for the game for me. So not having to rely on her kit and having to make sure you worry about what card you're putting into her kit to get the most out of her is part of the satisfaction when you finished a game. Now, as well as that, her Do You Even Lift ability, her I Object abilities are just fun to do. You know, flip up, deal some damage to something, flip down when the villain schemes, object to one of that scheme. Although she has a weak hero kit, she does have some very interesting cards. Her split personality card for a long time was the only card in the game that would allow you to flip during the hero phase without using your once per turn flip, and the fact that you then draw up to your hand size can make, when you get that card and when you play that card, a very interesting little puzzle. I still think she is so much fun just to get out of the box, throw her on the table, win or loss. So number 6 and number 5 both take advantage of using your health as a resource. I know Wolverine does that as well, so it kind of shows a pattern that I really enjoy heroes that do this. Number 6 for me is Venom, Flash Thompson, or Agent Venom. Now, coming in, tooling up, and start just going all out is of course a fun way to play. Him guaranteeing going and getting you a gun at the beginning of the game, so you're not necessarily hampered by the fact that you can't get your weapons, which can sometimes happen for other heroes, not being able to get a key piece of your kit. Guaranteeing against that, having the Project Rebirth 2.0 as a fantastic healing card, being able to generate resources for taking damage, everything on top just makes him a really satisfying puzzle when you get the deck that you've built purring. So a way that I've played him a lot is with the Confuse Lock archetype, and then cards like Think Fast to help you confuse, and stuff like Scare Tactics to help you deal the extra damage and extra pushes towards the villain. I found as a lot of fun. So he is kind of that mix between a build out character, because you want to do that with his weapons, but also an event character. I think he hits a nice balance between the two, and just outside my top 5 isn't a bad position for Agent Venom. Number 5, as I said, also uses your health as resources, and this is Spider-Ham. Now, I know not everybody enjoys the extra, the kind of zany, the cartoony, the gimmicky nature of Spider-Ham, but whenever I play him, I still find myself poking my tongue out at the villain, making funny noises, shaking my body, doing all of those those fun things that are just silly, but I think that's probably what makes him up to number 5. It is just pure joy when you get him out on the table and you just start doing all of that silly nonsense. So I've loved playing him in Protection. Some of the new Web Warrior cards in Protection damages you and denies the villain, so that just adds more resources to you. I've recently played on my What If series a leadership build, which I had a lot of fun with as well. Not a character that I'm always going to get out, but whenever I do get him out, he just brings a lot of fun to the table. So each of my top 4, I think, arguably could be considered the most fun hero at different times. I think my hero at number 4 will feel aggrieved to be outside of the top 3, but it has to happen. And number 4 is Rocket Raccoon. Now, I think the whole overkilling minions and getting to draw cards is a fun mechanic in itself. The tech tinkering is almost a secondary mechanic that you can play into, which is just as fun, especially with some of the tools that have come out sort of with repurpose and that sort of thing. Now, Rocket is a deck that I've built several times for different player counts to give to a new player to allow them to just go out and kill minions and just have a lot of fun that way. And I do think he has a lot of fun with his mechanics. Rocket may not be the strongest hero out there, but he's more than capable of taking on his fair share of villains, and he's more than capable of doing a really good job when you sit down to the table. In number 3, we have one of Rocket's pals, and that is Drax. Now, Drax took me a long time to actually get round to playing. I stripped a load of his protection cards out and used them for other decks. But when I eventually got round to playing him, it just brought so much joy. You know, yes, you take those first couple of hits, but suddenly you're smacking the villain for up to 5, if not more. You're doing leading blows to be able to ready and draw you the card with Dweefy Mastery. You're, hitting again. You're readying with CITT. Just the whole mechanic of it. I remember playing one game. We were playing multiplayer against Kang. There was 2 of us, me and a friend Matt, who's out in the States actually. But we flipped Kang 1, went into our own game areas, and I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to get over to you straight away. And then I just started my turn, and I ploughed through Kang stage 2 before Matt had even had his go. So I ploughed through mine and gone into his and started damaging his Kang. That was just such a memorable moment for him, and just proved sort of how much fun he can be. And with the right deck and with the right build, you can just go absolutely nuts with Drax. So my number 2, the runner-up for most fun hero to play within Marvel Champions, is one of the newest heroes of the game, ever since throwing their deck down, there has just been that joy for the game. The puzzle within their own mechanics just brings joy while sitting and playing a game of Marvel Champions. And that hero is Domino. Now, I thought maybe I'd like Cable a bit more than Domino, although I was very interested in Domino when she was announced. And the sample size is obviously very low with Domino. She's only been out about a month, so it's hard to have a big sample size with Domino. But she's just fun to play. There's no other way of saying it. Ensuring that you have the right card on the top of your deck and being able to flip that to then do what you need to do to increase your stats, or whatever it is you're trying to do, increase your events, fire your gun for something really powerful, or just ping off a single point of damage to help remove a tough. Having that not full control, but just having that level of control and manipulation of the decks is just, it's a joy. And I'm so glad that they did Domino justice when they brought out the hero. Now, my number one, my most fun hero to play within Marvel Champions is actually a hero that I've not picked up for probably about 18 months until recently, where my brother-in-law decided that he wanted to play through the Rise of Red Skull campaign, and I decided to dust off Quicksilver and just getting him back to the table, playing him again, especially with some of the newer protection cards from when I used to play with him. And protection is my preferred way to play with him. Not that he isn't suitable for any other aspect, he's very viable in every aspect out there. But getting to play him again at the table has just been an absolute joy. We've still got to go into play Red Skull and finish off the campaign. Hopefully once my recovery is done from my surgery, I can get the cards down and we'll get the final game played. But Quicksilver is just so much fun with his Radiant mechanic. That guaranteed defense, but it's not a particularly great defense. He's got low stats unless you build him up. And then having those turns where you suddenly can get your attack stat up to like 5 or 6 in different scenarios, and be able to hit 3 or 4 times is just amazing. It is so much fun where you just walk into it and you think, all of this needs doing. Right, let's do it. And you clear up the board and you've done a ton of damage to the villain, and you then pass it over to another player and you're just like, go on, carry on. Quicksilver for me is the most fun I've had when I play Marvel Champions, and I really need to make sure that I keep him in the rotation and I keep playing him more often. So my 2 honorary mentions at the end that I said that I would do. The first one is the one that came in 11th with the Pub Meeple ranking system, and that is Miles Morales Spider-Man. Now, Miles Morales, his hero kit is amazing. Having the play with all of the status cards. Now, I know stalwart and steady villains do affect his usefulness, but just having that play with all the cards, not just stunned, confused, but tough on yourself, his dual personality, wanting to flip down to alter ego to make the most of his alter ego supports and get back up, get back into the fight, just makes his puzzle an interesting decision point on when you do things, and to make sure that you sequence your turn in the correct order. Now, that said, his pre-constructed deck using all the shield cards I don't think suits him, so you have to really deck build with him to come up with some interesting builds. I really enjoy him in aggression, with cards like Press the Advantage and that sort of thing that also key off the status cards, as well as Surprise Attack when you flip up and all that sort of thing. I think there's some real fun plays with aggression with him. It's probably just a case of not enough game time, not enough time on the table, that makes him just miss out on the top 10. But nonetheless is a fantastically fun hero. And my second honourable mention, I couldn't very well put her in because she isn't actually out yet, but it is Psylocke, which is the Psylocke hero pack along with Angel is due out at the end of this week. Hopefully I can get this out before she comes out, but she has the next lot of cards to really help with the Confused Lock archetype and dealing extra damage to confused villains. And I've already said that I had a lot of fun doing those kinds of builds with Venom, so I think with her kit being able to do it as well, plus the new cards, I just think that she could easily push her way into one of the most fun villains because of that archetype of playing the game. Hopefully this will be proven right, but you never know. There are certain heroes that I saw their reveal articles and I thought, oh, this person's going to be amazing, and when you get them to the table, they're just a little bit of a disappointment. So I'm hoping she doesn't fall foul of that, but we shall find out soon enough. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little chat of nonsense into the game, and I could help show off some of, in my opinion, the most fun heroes to get down to the table and get a game of Marvel Champions with. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, happy gaming.